So beginning this Thursday, we'll be getting a new event, the Starbloom Festival. This will last for 3 weeks, from March the 27th to April the 16th. And it brings a whole bunch of new rewards and activities that we can do. Be aware, it will come adjacent to a pretty big content update, where we get trait resonance, epic runes, and season 2 for Trials and Arena. So let's go through everything you should know in this video. Ultimately, this Starbloom Festival is just going to be additional activity you can do on the side to obtain some pretty valuable rewards. And funnily enough, they're bringing the meme of the sheep, which you could obtain with this month's battle pass, and a lot of people were having fun with it. You will be able to take part of 3 special events. They're basically morph races. One is the Wild Dash, race to the finish line against other players. Then there's Rapids Rush, swim through lakes and rivers, overcome obstacles, try and get first place. And then the Skyborne Challenge, you soar through the air, navigating through certain aerial routes, racing against other players. And you probably will want to have the highest level of morph speed in order to really compete, along with potentially gear with movement speed to max that out. But I honestly hope that that's not the case. They should put you at a set move speed, otherwise it's not really fair. A newer player would never really stand a chance in the beginning of even competing. But you can participate and gain Starbloom coins up to 10 times per week. After that, if you want to continue doing it, you'll get quality Stellarite. But you can spend those coins to trade in and obtain some pretty neat rewards. A title, a new dash morph, and then some food, temporarily increasing evasion, skill damage resistance, CC resistance, then fish nuggets, temporarily boosting movement speed and attack speed, and marble candy, temporarily buffing crit hit and damage rates. So all just like combat foods here. You can get Stellarite, you can get weapon mastery, you can get precious ores, and you can get polished crystals. These last 2 being pretty important in order to get all of these growth stones, which we need an absolute ton of for our tier 2 gear upgrades. But that is ultimately the event, other than some daily check-in rewards where you can get more coins, get a boost for fishing, and something to do with rice flour. I assume that ties in with the blossom here, where you can gain a temporary boost for Solent, weapon mastery, and abyssal contract token efficiency. The 3 ingredients you need are milk, Starbloom petals, and that rice flour. Milk is just bought from your merchants, while those petals and the rice flour are available through activities below, which is again fishing for the petals and flour for Amatoy expeditions. And then there's some extra Twitch drops here to get some ornate coins and some star crystals. So overall, looks like a decent event. We don't yet know how much ore and crystals we'll be getting, but that's very good to note. They are adding extra ways to get more of those. So I'm looking forward to it. Starting March the 27th, lasting for 3 weeks. But now let's jump to the actual content updates we're getting. Trait Resonance, Epic Grade Runes, and Season 2 for Trials and Arena. You may have seen me cover this before, as I have already talked about it, but just be aware, the devs have not yet announced Trait Resonance. They have confirmed the introduction of Season 2 of Arena and Trials, which will come with new runes. So those things are clear to us and definitive, but they still have yet to announce their intention for Trait Resonance. Way back in 2024, they stated that they will be changing it from the current system in Korea. So a little bit later, we'll have a look at the details with that. But just with regards to purple runes and what that means for your gear, you're ultimately just going to be farming new runes when doing your trials, and they'll ultimately allow you to gain improved synergies here, the purple ones, and purple runes with a bit more stats. If you have your rune on level 60 and you obtain the exact same one, like if I get a weapon max mana rune on purple, it will already start at level 60, and every time I obtain a new one, there's a chance it will be higher level. up to a maximum 80. So it'll all be automatic. You will just have to filter through your inventory of all the purple ones you obtain. And the main way to get them will be through your weekly missions. Here you get a bunch of these packs up to 150, and your Dimensional Trials Season 2 will allow you to get those achievement rewards, getting the purple runes, and simply beating the trial on a certain tier, like the 3-star dungeons on tier 4 and 5 start giving purple runes now. However, the 2-star dungeons, which you'll still be able to run every week, will only give blue runes. So they're pretty much just for catching up and getting the first clear reward points. You will also very nicely start getting the purple runes through dynamic events and those field bosses with participation, along with killing enemies in your open world dungeons. But the devs did say they will be reworking our rune management. So having to sort them in our inventory, choosing to dissolve them, choosing to material transmutate them, will be completely changing. You'll no longer have to save onto runes. You pretty much obtain them, it unlocks and tracks them in a simple UI, and then you can very simply slot any amount of a certain rune. Like if I want max mana rune, it doesn't matter how many I've actually obtained, I'll be able to slot max mana in every single rune slot if I wanted to. So this will help massively, but we won't be getting it until April, unfortunately. But now let's quickly look at a bit more details with regards to trait resonance. Basically, it's going to allow you to gain an additional trait on all of your gear. The exact trait will differ depending on the gear piece. So for weapons, you can have all of these different traits, and you're going to unlock them with trait resonance stones. The main place to get trait resonance stones on the Korean server is through material transmutation. You get to a higher tier, and these bonus rewards are these stone fragments, which you can then craft up to obtain these trait resonance stones, which you then use to unlock those different traits. And again, it's random which trait you get, and so you will have to use a lot of them to get the exact one you want. And it's going to cost you a lot of extra ores if they keep the system the way it is. But again, the devs have said they are going to rework trait resonance, and we have yet to get any concrete information of what they intend to do. We may not even get this system yet. They have not announced it, other than back in the February Tico Talks. They did say trait resonance was coming March the 27th. And again, be aware, we still don't know when we're getting the Bercant weapons, the Crimson weapons, or even the Greyeye weapons. They are shown in our lithograph book for a cost of 400 loyalty coins. So if you're waiting for these weapons, as they can be pretty powerful, then you could be advised to save those coins. These weapons basically narrow the gap between these and Archboss weapons. And so honestly, that's probably why they're delaying the release of them. They're waiting for when we actually get the new Archboss weapons, which will be when we finish this current milestone, Frenzied Ice Power, and that's still another 88 hours. We get the Delos Noah weapons, you can see already here if you inspect. This is the Archboss and all the supposed drops. This is again completely on the live server, and so you can already plan ahead what actual gear comes from here. But I'm sure eventually they'll make this gear more accessible and drop in other areas other than the Archboss weapons. And for some reason, Delos Noah drops 5 of the Archboss weapons, with then Cordy dropping only 3 of them. You can inspect him here and what drops they've put on his loot table. And it comes with the infamous QWERTY crossbow, which is kind of pretty broken in terms of grouping up enemies and killing whole swaths of players when you just go for your spinning attack. And it should also begin the ability to farm for the Giant Cordy's branch, and the same story for the snowflakes that you need from Delos Noah, 180 to craft any of these weapons. But we should get another Tico Talks and another Ion Silesium video, I believe tomorrow and the day after. So definitely more information coming from the developers with regards to their updates, and so stay tuned. It's always good to see them adding some extra new events to keep people engaged, to do some new things, shake it up a bit, and ultimately earn some bonus rewards. But that's it for now. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around.